Here's a real incident, the kind that actually happens. A viewer opens their browser's DevTools, finds the Delete Project button that's supposed to be hidden for their role, and notices it's just visually hidden with CSS, disabled true on the client. Nothing stopping the request server side.
They fire the post directly. The project is gone. Video 18's tests all assume good faith. A real user clicking real buttons in the order the UI expects. None of them ever asked what happens when someone skips the UI entirely and talks straight to the server. That gap isn't hypothetical. It's exactly the shape of bug that makes it into production because every happy path test at every layer built so far genuinely passes. That's what Today goes looking for. Not the path everything's supposed to take. The ones where a viewer tries something they shouldn't, a project doesn't exist, the network drops mid-request, and two people are looking at the same project at once. Production doesn't only run the happy path, and from here on, neither do the tests. Let's get into it. Why this is the most important video in the series. Happy path coverage isn't coverage. Videos 13 through 18 built real meaningful coverage, but almost every test written so far assumes things go right. In production, they don't, constantly. Wrong roles, missing resources, propped connections. A test suite that's never once tried to break its own app hasn't actually tested the boundaries that matter most. Proving permissions server-side, not just in the UI. Step 1. Bypassing the UI entirely. The strongest possible proof that a permission check works isn't clicking a hidden button. It's skipping the browser's UI altogether and hitting the server directly, exactly the way the cold opens viewer did. Playwright's request context does exactly that. E2E permissions.spec.ts. Import test expect from .fixtures. Test a viewer cannot delete a project by calling the action directly. Async page request. Await page copy to login. Await page get by label email. Fill viewer at test.com. Await page get by label password. Fill correct password. Await page get by role button. Name. Sign in. Click. Const cookies equals await page context.cookies. Const response equals await request.post. API projects proj1 delete. Wait headers. Cookie cookies.mapc.commaTextRefRines. Join a dull I. Expect response status to be 403. Const dashboard check equals await request.get. API projects proj1. Headers. Cookie cookies.mapc.commaTextRefRines. Join a dull I. Expect dashboard check status to be 200. Signed in as a real viewer, this test never touches the delete button at all. It forges the exact request a malicious or merely curious user could send from DevTools, and checks that require role rejects it on the server. Not just that the button happens to be hidden client-side. Note, a UI test clicking a disabled button proves the button is disabled. It proves nothing about what happens if someone bypasses the button. This request-level test is the only one in the entire series that actually proves the server-side check from video 10 is the real security boundary it was designed to be. Testing missing resources. Step 2. A project that doesn't exist. Test navigating to a non-existent project shows a real 404, not a crash. Async, signed in page. Await page go API.goto. Projects this ID was never real. Await expect page get by text, not found, doesn't exist, to be visible. Await expect page.not to have URL. Error. This is checking that video 12's error.tsx boundary does its job. A missing project degrades to a clear specific message, not a generic crash screen, or an unhandled exception bubbling all the way up past the route segment it belongs to. Simulating network failure. Step 3. Forcing a request to fail. Test a failed data fetch shows the error boundary, not a blank page. Async page assigned in page. Await page route, API projects. Route to route abort failed. Await page go to /projects proj1. Await expect page get by text couldn't load this project I to be visible. Await expect page get by role button name try again to be visible. Page route intercepting and aborting the request. Is Playwright deliberately breaking the network on command? Something impossible to reliably trigger by hand, and exactly the condition video 12's error boundary exists for. If this test ever shows a blank white screen instead of the fallback, the boundary isn't actually catching what it's supposed to. Testing real-time across 2 sessions. Step 4. 2 browser contexts, 1 project. Test a task created in one session appears live in another. Async browser. Const owner context is await browser new context. Const editor context is await browser new context.
Const owner page is await owner context new page. Const editor page is await editor context new page. Await owner page go to /projects proj1. Await editor page go to /projects proj1. Await editor page get by label new task, fail added by editor. Await editor page get by role button, name add task, click. Await expect owner page get by text added by editor, to be visible, timeout 5000. Await owner context close, await editor context close. Two entirely separate browser contexts, two independent cookie jars, two independent sessions, genuinely simulating two different people. The owner's page never reloads and never gets told to check again. It just has to show the editor's task on its own, which is the whole promise of Video 11's pusher integration, finally proven against a real running app, instead of Redis code. Recap and call to action. Taskmaster is now tested against the conditions that actually cause outages. A role bypassing the UI and hitting the server directly, a resource that doesn't exist, a network request that fails mid-flight, and two real sessions relying on real-time sync. Combined with everything from videos 13 through 18, every layer of this app, logic, database, and browser, has been deliberately tested against both success and failure. In video 20, we make sure none of this is optional, wiring every test in this series into GitHub Actions, so broken code can't reach main in the first place.